Hi, Kelly here from Freebie Finding Mom with another of Money Talk. I'm going to go ahead and invite in my friends on Facebook. So bear with me if you will. Hi, Kelly here from freebiefindingmom.com with another session of Money Talk. As you join in, if you will, please give this video a thumbs up and be sure to leave your questions in the comments. If you've not caught one of our Money Talk sessions before, it's basically every Friday I share with you some of the questions I've gotten over the past week. I usually go live at around 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. And like I said, I talk about some of the topics that have been most popular over the past week from you guys. And you guys kindly leave your responses on these posts on the Freebie Finding Mom Facebook page. And that's kind of what we discuss on this video. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and get started. Today's video was really easy to prepare for because you guys had so many good questions this past week and your responses were awesome. So I can't wait to get to those. In fact, your responses were so lengthy and so insightful that I really only had to pick 2 questions because I think there's enough material there that we can talk about. So the first question I want to talk about is Beth's question. Beth had said that she wanted to get feedback as to what other parents have done with helping their kids pay for their first car. So Beth is contemplating the idea of helping to maybe do a matching, a dollar for dollar with her child with financing their first car. And you guys were great in sharing your responses as to what you think, what had worked for you and your family. So I want to go ahead and let you know, Barbara had mentioned that she said that, I love this idea, Barbara, by the way. When I read this the first time earlier in the week, I thought, what a great idea. Barbara had said that I think it was a 2013 Ford Focus that she had, and there was about $4,000 left on the balance of that car. And that was about as much as what her son had saved up. And so what she decided to do was to just let him basically take over the remaining payment for that car. He got the Ford Focus, and then she got a different car and just financed that and made the monthly payments. Because in her mind, she didn't want him to have to, make payments at such a young age. So he had done a great job of saving up $4,000. And so she basically just said, here, you can have the car after you pay off the balance. So I love that idea, actually. So it's like she paid for part of it, but then also as he was able to save up his own funds, he also helped pay for a nice chunk of that car too. So I like that idea, Barbara. Thank you for sharing that. Brittany had said that she will likely do a matching of money dollar for dollar for her children when they save for their first car. And I agree with you actually on this, Brittany. And she said that she feels like the kids will get a better sense of satisfaction in knowing they help pay for the car themselves. Now, as someone who's paid for both cars I ever owned by myself, I can tell you, I think there's some truth to that. I think, now granted, it'd be nice to have someone help pay for it. So I think kind of a balance would be great too. But I also think having your children have some skin in the game, having them having worked for money and saved it and put some money towards their car, I think is important actually. So I agree with you on that, Brittany. And then Veronica was saying, yes, this summer, actually, she's matching dollar for her children. Or for her child who's saving for a car. Rachel said that Rachel, this is funny when I talk, she said that her 13-year-old, she's trying to motivate him to want to save money and to want to, to save money for his car. But at this age, he's just not really interested in driving at this point. So he's not ultra motivated, but she's hoping that'll change over the next few years. I hope you can motivate him, Rachel. I mean, I think at 13, sometimes 16 seems so far off, but especially when you're saving for a significant purchase like that, it's a smart idea, like to have the conversations down with him and try to, motivate him to save anything he can, because then he could just get, that much of a nicer car when he turns 16, when he probably will be interested in having more money for the car. Charlotte had said that, I like Charlotte, great idea too. Charlotte, this is funny. She said that she bought her kids cars, but she said she bought them like clunkers. They were nothing, super fancy or anything like that. But she said they were good enough, reliable enough cars that they could, drive them to school and to work and that sort of thing. But, and she said, she found that but she gave them restrictions with the car keys. It wasn't like she just gave them a car and said, here, use it when you need. She said that they had restrictions like, school and work and that sort of thing. And she found that it was actually really helpful when her kids had their own car, because they could help with errands and things. So I think there's something to be said for that too. I think having them have their own independence, but yet also be able to be of assistance to you is a good idea. Casey said that when it was time for her to get her first car, she said her parents put down the down payment, which was around $2,000. And then she was responsible for the monthly payments and insurance and that sort of thing. So I like that as an option too. So Beth, all of these are great suggestions. You could do a myriad of them. You could do a combination of them. But there's some really great ideas I hadn't thought about. I guess when I think of helping your kids save for their car, I think of like, oh, it would probably either be you buy it or maybe you do a dollar for dollar. But you guys are very innovative with some of the ways that, whether your parents pay for your down payment and then you pay for the rest, or you bought them clunkers, but you gave them restrictions. So a lot of really good suggestions for you, Beth. I hope this has been helpful. And then Carolyn's question is another one that I want to talk about because you guys had some really helpful responses. Carolyn said her 10-year-old daughter has been asking for back to school clothes already. And it sounds like she's a little bit nervous because she said that her budget this year for back to school shopping is not as big as it has been in prior years. So she was wondering, wanted to get some feedback as to what other parents do. Do you share with your kids that you're having some financial constraints, or do you kind of just keep it private and not inform the kids of it? So you guys had some varied responses, but overall there was a general theme that I'll get to. But the first thing Susie says that it really, in her opinion, depends on your child, depends on their age, and it depends on their maturity. She said that it could be a good life lesson, which you'll see I'll tell you some other responses that seem to be kind of an overwhelming trend. This could be a teaching opportunity, which would be a good thing. But Susie did say, just be cognizant that you're not kind of creating some, anxiety for your child. So know your child, know if they can handle that kind of information. But regardless of what you inform them, always kind of leave them reassured that no matter what, all adults have financial, issues at times, and that everything's going to be just fine. And then she mentioned, maybe checking out going to a thrift store where obviously your money's going to stretch a lot farther than if you went, say like a department store or something. Vanessa said she tells her kids that there's a budget and they have X amount of dollars to spend, and then she feels it'll help them with like personal budgeting and money management skills, because then they'll pay attention to the price tags and do the math. Totally agree with you, Vanessa. In fact, I've kind of started to do on a much smaller scale the same thing with my son who's 6. Like, I can't remember what it was here recently. He had $5 or something that he had earned for something. And I said, we went to a store and I said, you have $5 that you could spend. And he doesn't really get like what $5 means, right? So like he'll go to a toy store and pick up something that's like $65. I'm like, no, that's not $5. So we had the conversation that, no, that's too much money. And this actually reminds me of another example. And so that's a good teaching moment, and you're going to obviously take your children's age into consideration. But at 10, they should be able to understand that I have, $50 to spend for back to school clothes. So I need to make that stretch. So I think this is a good time to maybe have that conversation. But I'll tell you, at my son's school, they do this thing called the prize cart, where basically like the kids earn tickets towards the prize cart, which I think comes once a month. And I volunteered for that a few times. So basically what they do is they collect their tickets at the end of the month, and then they go to the prize cart and get to pick out an item that they want. And every single time I would go, my son would always use every ticket he had. If he had 5 tickets or 12 tickets or 20 tickets, it didn't matter. And if he wasn't even that excited about what it was, he would still spend all the money, all the tickets that he had. And I kept telling him, you don't have to spend them, Ian, you can actually save some. So the very last time I volunteered, I was amazed because we went over the prize cart and like, all right, Ian, whatever you have, like 17 tickets or something. And he goes, Mommy, I don't really want this stuff. I think I'll wait until I have 50 because there was a stuffed animal or something he wanted that was worth 50. And I was so proud that I felt like he's finally getting the concept that you can save your tickets money, whatever it is, and then get something that you really want. So, I mean, that's more applicable to, kind of his age, but it's the same concept, right? It's helping your children learn how to budget and how to save for something they really want. So going back to your responses, Beth had said that yes, she said she tells them that they can't spend she said, I would tell them that yes, we can't spend as much on clothes because food and everything else has cost more money now. So it sounds like Beth agrees that just being upfront and honest, but obviously taking into consideration your child's age is important and what type of personality your child is. If you think like it would create more anxiety for them, just, be sensitive about that. Ashton said yes, that she feels it's important to discuss money as early as possible. Discussing it young, like even as young as age 3, can help them, make a learning experience for them, make it a learning experience for them and kind of create a game out of it. And I loved your suggestion, Ashton. She made the comment that you can set up a budget, bring a calculator with you, and show them how much you can get with that was in your budget. She said, even use coupons. I love this. Like this, when I read this before, Ashton, it actually got me excited. Like, how can I do this with Ian? Because he hears me talk about coupons. He hears me talk about deals. And like, he doesn't really understand all that. And I know he's still only 6. But as he gets older, I want to show him how, like, hey, Ian, let's, go ahead and let's get download a few digital coupons and let's see how many of the groceries that we want to get, or groceries or toys or whatever it is that he wants to get. And just kind of show him how you can get what you want when you've saved for it and you've shopped sales and you've used coupons. So I agree with you. This could be actually a really fun learning experience that you could have with your daughter, Carolyn. Veronica said she feels age 10 is the perfect age to start, shopping on a budget and talking to them about it. And I said, go ahead and she recommends taking inventory on what she already has. And then I love this too, Veronica. She's saying then look at online sales and be able to kind of show your daughter how to comparatively shop. So be able to say, oh, see this shirt here and this shirt here and the price difference, and is this really worth an extra $10 or $15 for the shirt? So really helping them evaluate their options and see if they can justify a higher price or not. So I think, again, it's just a great opportunity to have that dialogue with your daughter, Carolyn. And then as Charlene said, yes, this is a teaching moment, but be sure to use positive words. I agree with that, actually, Charlene, because I feel like too often the term budget seems kind of have a negative connotation, and people think, oh, it's such a horrible thing. And it's really not. Budgeting should feel very freeing, because then you have the right to spend a certain amount. So rather than say, oh, you only have $50 to spend on back to school shopping, you can say to your daughter, you have $50 to spend on back to school shopping. Okay, let's see how much stuff that you can get that you love for that $50. So I think a lot of it is in how you position it to them too. Because I say that with Ian all the time. Like I'll say, with him, my statement to him all the time is, you have 2 minutes. Like he'll say, can I watch TV? I'll like, you have 2 minutes and we have to go do something else. 2 minutes. And then granted, now he says 2 minutes is 120 seconds now, because he learned 60 plus 60, but like he doesn't really understand how long that is. So I'll tell him, I'm like, you have 2 minutes, and he gets excited about it, And so it's all about how you kind of spin it to them. Like I'll be like, you have 2 minutes, and that's like 2 hours to him, So just if you could spin it like you have $50, then your daughter may be more excited about it. I mean, she may not even know what you spent on the budget last year, Carolyn. So she may not know it's less than what you have to spend this year. So maybe you just inform her whatever her budget is, and then, see what she can do to maximize that budget. Then Holly said, yes, set a budget for now. And then maybe later in the year, or maybe at least in a few months, you could add some additional money to that budget. That's a good option as well. Rachel had said, tell her, basically tell her to learn. This is going to be an opportunity for her to learn how to be fiscally responsible. So again, very much a teaching moment. So she said, like, for instance, and teacher, I love this suggestion too, Rachel. She mentioned about teaching about opportunity cost. It's like, for instance, if she wants to go buy this $50 pair of jeans here, then she can't go over to the thrift store and get an entire wardrobe. So she needs to understand, is that one pair of jeans worth losing out on this wardrobe over here? So helping her make that decision, it's just going to benefit her later in life. So it's just a good opportunity to kind of have that dialogue now. Christine had said, yep, tell her it's a teaching moment. Casey said that she's transparent with her kids. She said she doesn't want to induce any worry, but just helps them learn finance skills. And that's something that my mom used to say that sometimes. Like, I think back when I was in high school, and she would say, I'm surprised that they don't have more classes where they teach people and young kids like how to manage their money. And I think at the time she would say like how to balance a checkbook and, basic money skills. But this goes along with that. I feel like in school, and I think they're doing a better job maybe now, but I still feel like there's a gap between, what we teach our kids in school on like how to be, fiscally responsible and learn about, making smart choices with their money and that sort of thing. So if they're not getting it in school, it's just a smart idea to start having that dialogue at home. And this could be that opportunity for you. And then Emily, I have to share Emily's comment because I love it. Emily said, there ain't no shame in the thrift store game. So, and there's not, Emily. So she said she grew up shopping at thrift stores and having hand-me-downs. And she said now her kids have the same experience with shopping at thrift stores and they're happy as can be. And she said they love the thrift stores. So again, it's kind of like how you position it to your daughter, Carol, Carolyn, you could say to her, oh, you have just $50. And so you're probably going to only be able to buy 2 shirts. Or you could say you have $50. We could go to the thrift store here and see all the stuff you could get. Or you could go to some of your favorite stores, but you're not going to get as much. So just having that dialogue, letting her know what her opportunities are on where she could, her options are and where she could shop, and give her that freedom to let her kind of be in control of the budget. Maybe since the budget's a little bit smaller, she may actually really enjoy that. So it may not be, it may not be as tough as you think, especially if you kind of give her the freedom to make some of those choices herself this year. But thank you guys for the questions. As always, you guys are awesome at your responses. Thank you so much. I learned so much just from your responses. I hope you guys do too. And that's why I, share you guys' questions, and then love having this video on Fridays, because I feel like it's a good opportunity to kind of recap some of the questions that were the most popular. And so make sure that people get to see the information and hopefully use it in your lives. As always, keep the questions coming. You're more than welcome to send me a direct message if that's better for you, or leave any questions in the comments. I always come back and check these videos pretty much every night, at least once during the week. So I will not miss your question. At least I shouldn't miss your question. A couple other pieces of information I want to share with you. Be sure, if you have a Kroger or Kroger affiliate store near you, don't forget to grab today's Kroger Free Friday download. And I think it's a free Kind bar today. So that sounds delicious. And then I also wanted to alert you to the fact that my new microdermabrasion paste video is up. Not only do I share with you my tutorial on how to make it, but I show you the calculations on how you can save over $100 a year making this beauty recipe. If you've never had a microdermabrasion done, I love it. It's probably one of my favorite treatments to have done, but it's crazy expensive. And let's be honest, who can go to a spa and really get that done very often? So if you can, I honestly think this is the next best thing. So I show you this tutorial in my video, and I'll put a link down in the comments here when I'm all done. And so I will put a link to that video, and you'll see, like I say, not only the tutorial you'll see, but you'll also get to see the calculations of me showing you that how much money it can really save you. And it's so inexpensive to make. That's the thing, is that's another reason. I hope you were able to catch my videos on Thursday nights, especially the one I did last night about Young Living essential oils, because that's when I bring these oils to you. Because not only am I using them myself, but like, you can save so much money, whether it being making your own beauty products, skincare products, cleaners, or using it for different ailments that you have. I mean, these oils it's a really great way to not only just improve the health and the health benefit in your family and live kind of a more natural lifestyle, but also it's just can save you money. And that's what I love showing those kind of videos to you, because I love to show you the real numbers that of how much you can save. So check out that video. I'll put the link down in the comments here. I also, like I mentioned, I did another Young Living video last night. I do my Young Living videos on Thursday evenings. I try to do it around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So hopefully you can catch those. You guys have been great as far as your interest in learning about essential oils. I mean, my Oily Friends Facebook group that I started less than a month ago, we have almost 400 people in it already. So I'm going to put a link to that Facebook group in the comments below as soon as I get done taping this. So you're more than welcome to join that group. I'd be happy to have you. In there, I share just helpful videos, tutorials, and just more information about essential oils, how you can use them, why you're going to want to use them, how they can save you money, like real money, and live, like I say, just a healthier lifestyle. And so I'd be happy to have you in our group. So if you're interested, by all means, join our Oily Friends Facebook group. And keep the questions coming as always. I'm happy to answer those if I can. Like I said, it can be anything related to saving money, managing money, making money, investing your money. Ask those questions in the comments or send me a direct message. I hope you have something fun planned for the weekend. I actually have to get going because I'm going to my son's art show at art camp. So I have to run. But if you will, go ahead and send me any of your questions about Young Living essential oils or about finances in general. Have a fun and safe weekend. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Bye-bye.